I'm so tired. Hi guys, welcome back to the Library of Alexandria. I'm very tired. Here we are to talk about Rakugo 4. I promise this time I will change the title before actually uploading it, because last time it uploaded as Rakugo 2, and no one knew what the first one was called, because when I set up the stream, I'm just like Rakugo 4 or whatever. I'll change the title when I upload it. I didn't. Anyway, so we're here to talk about through episode.
Alan, you were just so animated 2 seconds before you pushed record. And then you push record and you're like,
Oh, I've got to keep up. I've got a persona. People expect
the cranky persona.
Yeah, apparently. No, but just kidding. Philip, where does yours end? Does
right.
on the last page?
Probably the mob stuff.
Does yours end with does yours end with Yotaro doing the reformed drunk Rakugo?
No. Mine ends with volume 8 ends with the scene on the bridge when Yakumo the 8th was probably thinking about ending it all. Gotcha. And then Yotaro comes rushing over, and also what's her name? Konatsu. They come over, and
the end of that episode is so good. Oh, it was so touching.
I have to say, I just want to be on the record right away to say these 2 volumes, 7 and 8, have totally redeemed the series for me. I love the first 4. They were great. And 5 and 6 were kind of a letdown. And these, to be fair, I think we have to reassess what some of the things we said about 5 and 6.
I agree.
After reading these,
that's the point.
I just think they're great. I think they're great. This is good storytelling in these volumes. So I'm on the record as saying I love this.
I also enjoyed. It's 5 episodes, and I can't really remember everything that happens. Like a lot of times it's just nothing's really happening. They're just doing their thing, but there's a lot of really good moments in these particular 5. Like I was talking about earlier, I think that Yotaro doing children's television is perfect for him. That he does
it's so goofy.
Yeah. And then him pushing Konatsu to like, hey, like this isn't like Rakugo in a theater. Like no one's going to care about tradition. This is your chance. This is the best audience ever. The kids, the next generation, they're not the ones that are going to poo-poo at a woman doing Rakugo. They're just like, they're like, oh, this is so-and-so's mom. This is Shin-chan's mom. And, they loved it. And she went out there and she killed.
Yeah, it was really beautiful to see her finally get to perform after all these years.
Yeah, I actually got choked up. I shed a couple tears during these volumes. I thought it was really wonderful, and how afterwards there were a couple of these moments where I loved his reaction here, and he was just so encouraging. I love Yotaro so much. He's like, fun, ain't it? Right, and then she just breaks down and cries, and he's hugging her. It was just so sweet. I love that. That moment was beautiful.
We have a mirrored moment of that when he comes back from his trip to Shikoku, and again, just like boom, and she's like, "What's wrong with you, you big baby?" He's like, "It's nothing," and it's like, it is something. He realizes the trauma that she's been through, that she is the one who shoved her mom off the balcony, and after witnessing what on earth. So this is where we walk back what we said last time.
Yeah, we have to walk back because
we don't have to walk back. We just have to. We've been given new information. We were supposed to have one reaction,
and then we have to amend our opinions.
Yes, now that we have more information, we get to say, "What a twist! What an awesome twist!"
Why did she stab him?
Because she thinks she thinks he ruined her life, and he made it impossible for her to be with the man of her dreams, which was Bon. She wanted to be.
No, man of her dreams rejected her. Yeah, she asked for him first, and he said no, and so then she settled for Shiroku. So that's, he didn't do anything. She tried to give her the life she wanted.
I'm just trying to explain her logic or whatever,
Yeah.
flawed as it is. You know, I
So-
think from her perspective, yeah, you're right. She's settled. I am not trying to exonerate her in any way whatsoever. I'm just trying to get in. I'm trying to occupy her head, which is not very easy for me, but especially when I'm wearing this hat. But I think that's probably the only explanation I can come up with is that she's like, my life sucks. I hate your guts. You're a drunk, and everything's bad because of you, and I'm gonna stab you.
The way I took it was I don't remember if she initiated the kiss or
Bone.
Bone. I don't remember if she initiated the kiss or Bone initiated the kiss, but they kissed in the first time we watched this happen.
Yeah.
And then Sukeroku Shin walked in. And so I took it as she thought she was getting back together with the love of her life, the love that she thought she lost.
Yeah.
And then the one who is obsessed with her, the one who actually, I mean, I don't know. I don't know who feels about what in this series, but the other one walked in and she wanted to get rid of him. So she stabbed him. That's the way I took that.
Yeah.
So thinking about that, remember she talks to Bone about a double suicide.
Yes.
Right.
And then she stabs Shin. That woman had that knife on her. Do we know that she wasn't trying to stab Bone? Like she wasn't about to stab him? Like, because if she stabbed Sukeroku, she had the knife on her.
You're right.
Maybe she was trying to stab Bone and Sukeroku got in the way. And
oh no! Do you think she was trying to stab Bone and then Sukeroku actually saved Bon's life?
Now again, remember what happened to us last time. Like,
yeah, but it was deeper than we thought. It's just that we were fooled.
That would be cool. That would be really cool.
Crazy.
All I know is she had to have that knife on her if she was able to.
Yeah.
Happened as you remember.
Because she went to Bone, right? Like she went to him.
And then she's like, we should double suicide. And he's like, what?
She went to him with a knife on her person, and then one of them initiated the kiss. I can't remember who. So was she planning on like stabbing him while she was kissing him? And then she walked in?
I mean, remember, it's possible she thought he would agree to the double suicide. Like, because she mentions it. Otherwise, just stab him and then stab yourself. So it's possible she brought it to be like, hey, I brought this knife. What if we killed ourselves?
What did she say while she was crying in the corner? What did she say? Like, did she say I didn't mean to do it?
No, yeah, she said she seemed like she was upset that she had stabbed Sukeroku. Yeah.
Maybe she never meant. Maybe she always meant to leave her daughter with the father, and she just wanted to, her and Bone. She just wanted.
Or like you said, he jumped in front of him and didn't mean she didn't mean to stab him. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
We'll see. But anyway, we have to amend not our impression of Miyokichi because she's still not our favorite, but we have to amend, I think, our impression of Bon, because we've been thinking of him as kind of a jerk, and he has stayed silent about what happened to protect Konatsu all this time. And every time she says, "You horrible, mean guy, you killed my parents," you know, he's like just holding that in. No wonder he has a stroke or a heart attack or whatever, you know?
Yeah. Which also, pause real quick, and I might edit this part out. So, Murphy, your mic does sound fine, except for the fact that when we're all talking, you can definitely tell. So,
okay. Do you want me to go grab it?
Yeah, go get your mic, and I'll edit this out.
Okay. Or you guys can keep talking while I'm gone, so you don't have to worry about editing.
Yeah, I forgot. I told her she didn't hear your mic because it sounded normal, but when we're all talking, I can tell the difference. So,
that's entirely your fault.
No, I claimed it. I'm not pulling a bone. I'm not going to keep this. I'm not going to hold this in my grave and have a heart attack while performing.
That is actually a relief. Yeah.
Yeah, like freaking Bone having a heart attack. Like Yakumo 8 having a heart attack while he's doing that. Because
and just finishing the piece and then like going dunk, you know.
And he has the incense and he sees Miyokichi in the incense smoke.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then he goes to the candle room in his coma or whatever and sees Sukeroku. What?
Yep.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That was Ooh.
I think we should move our hats for Murphy.
Why are you moving your hats? Oh no. That's not gonna. Okay. I'll match the vibe.
There you go. There you go.
All right.
Hey, so I like when they go to Shikoku and they find the evidence. Like Matsuda knows too. He's just been sitting on it for the whole time. But I like that they see Yakumo or Bone having fun with Rakugo, and he's like, hey, like, why do you keep trying to get rid of this? Like, why are you not doing this? Like you used to when you used to have fun with it. But that kind of leads into what Philip hasn't seen. But it's such a good scene after that.
Because you guys are a little further along in the narrative.
Of what you're gonna read, I got choked up. And because also there's music in the anime, which helped a lot.
Really?
So the final scene of the anime of episode 8, you got choked up?
Yeah, with Yotaro's performance. Yes, it's just Yotaro performing Rakugo. That's all it is.
Oh. You're okay.
Yeah.
Right. So
that was really, really, really sweet. Sorry. We'll save it for next time though.
It was good.
Oh, cool. I feel like there's a lot to look forward to, although it's interesting because some of our viewers,
they said, I'm going to hate the ending. You're going to like it. And
one person said that. Others have been saying you're all going to hate the ending. Sorry.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I even if I do hate the ending, there's been enough really great stuff in the series up till now that I can say this is a win already. I mean, I don't know.
So I agree. This is why if we're going to talk about, how everybody hates Fall of Babel, Philip, it doesn't matter if you don't like the ending. It doesn't make like the previous books bad. And what really makes me mad is when all the freaking Sanders stands who always like Journey Before Destination start pulling like, oh, well, the ending's bad, so the whole series is bad. I'm sorry, what? What about Journey Before Destination? Where'd that go? Where'd Journey Before Destination go? So...
but does it end in a Sanderlanche?
This almost certainly not. Like
no, Fall of Babel.
No, it's not a Sanderlanche. No.
Like then nothing can be forgiven if it's not a Sanderlanche.
Oh, you're right. What would a Rakugo Sanderlanche be like? Like
everybody performing together.
Yotaro does every single Rakugo performance simultaneously. And at the same time, like the US invades Japan, and at the same time, like aliens come out and they learn the ways of Rakugo, and then Philip appears and says, "Welcome to the theater on the best of Rakugo." And does
You're actually right. Aliens coming and performing Rakugo would be the perfect ending to the series.
If aliens showed up in this show, I would be like, what? What? Again, I'm still going with the whole theater's Fushi theory.
The what?
I think it's really Fushi at the end. Sorry, let's get back on track.
You're good. Can you
on my channel?
Can y'all translate the scene that when Bon, it's his present time, so whatever his present day name is,
Yakumo the 8th.
Yeah,
he starts seeing Shin and others in a vision, and Shin holds him down. Was that not in the manga?
That's not in the manga.
Oh, that was filler material.
Wait, so his time in the candle room isn't in the manga?
What candle room?
So he starts seeing visions of everybody that's dead.
When he has a heart attack, he wakes up in this room, this just like dark hallway that's lit by hundreds of candles, and he sees Shin's ghost there. He's having a vision.
The girl is there too. Whatever her name
there's
is.
Something of that. I mean, he does see, as you said, during his performance, he does see Miyokichi,
and it's after that. So it's after he collapses.
And then
so they just add to that then.
And then let me think. Okay, there is a candle room. There is a candle room. Yeah.
It must just be quick then in the manga.
Yeah, and he does see,
there you go.
Todoroki there as well.
What does he say to him there? Because I see some words there.
Okay, yeah, I will say, he says, Sukuroku says, "Why did you come here?" And then Yakumo responds, "So you're talking to me at last? Miyokichi-san, where is she? What is this place? What are these candles? Heaven or hell?" And then Tsukuroku replies, "Bon, forgive me." And he pushes him down on a table.
So you saw the whole scene and you just forgot it?
Well, I thought it. Okay, so the way I explained it in my head is he's having this hallucination as he's has fallen unconscious, essentially.
Yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So and it's like the guilt of the past and that
Mm-hmm.
kind of thing is just kind of oozing up in him. I don't know why candles. That might have some significance in Japanese culture, perhaps that candle room. But
okay, so I basically just took it as like almost like a near-death experience. Like he's fading, so he's seeing all the people and all the lies that he's been suppressing. The truths that he's been hiding are like coming at him in his near death. Is that how y'all took it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just thought I thought it was he has had a heart attack, and in his unconsciousness, like he's unconscious, that he's dreaming about Tsukuroku.
Yeah.
Past, same thing as Philip.
What did you think of Yotaro's decision to fill in the tattoo, which was supposedly associated with like his gangster life, I guess?
So Yakuza, like tattoos are not, they're verboten in Japan. Like some onsen, when we were there, some onsen in certain places, you can't go in if you have a visible tattoo. Like America.
Really?
Yeah, because tattoos are so associated with the Yakuza in Japan. Like they do not have visible tattoos, because visible tattoos are one of the ways that the Yakuza identify themselves. So, because remember, the Yakuza don't bother you if you're not messing with their business. So
I'll have to wear my jacket everywhere then, so people don't see all my tattoos.
Yeah, your sleeves.
Now, again, it's becoming more westernized. So that's not everywhere. It is just some places still, and it was only some places when we were there. The Yakuza wear their tattoos proudly, and back, like the full back tattoo, that's common. So yeah, that's why when in the, I guess, the previous set, he disrobes during the
and it was shameful.
Because I mean, one, he's disrobing. Two, he's showing like, look, I was Yakuza.
Look at my past.
I get all that. So why does he though have it filled in? He says, "I'm tired of doing things halfway," is what he says. And so he went, he got it done, because he thought he was hanging out in the seedy section of town and assumed he was going to a brothel or something. So, no. I was finishing up the tattoo. And he said, "I'm tired of doing things halfway." I feel like it's a metaphor in a way for him trying to find his voice as a rakugo artist. That's probably part of it. And he's been described as this empty vessel, right? Before. I feel like it has something to do with that. That is, he's getting filled in, literally with the tattoo, but he's filling himself in a sense. So it's a symbolic gesture, right?
Didn't he say that he was going to have his master's name included in the tattoo, and then he ended up not? So it seems like it was also it seems like it was also like an offering to him or something like that. But it might have been a joke. You might be right.
I think it's also he is no longer, that is not his life anymore, but that is part of his life. And he is not, he is okay with where it takes him. And like you said, Phil, I was going to say finding his identity. And I think being a former Yakuza member is part of his identity. Yeah. And he's going to move forward from there.
Wasn't there a line, I think it was in the last section that we read and watched, where he was challenged, you have to develop your own identity, your own personality. And so I guess this is a big part of him doing exactly that.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. I also am enjoying the relationship between Yotaro and Konatsu. And the whole, by the way, I don't know if you guys saw the comments on our last one. We were talking about sis, him calling her sis. And several people explained that as a, it would have been natural for him to call her that in the context of him being a newcomer to the household, her being perhaps a little older, a more established member of the family. And it's kind of like gangster. It's the gangster talk. That's why he calls that other guy bro. And so it would have been a natural thing for him to call her. Now, whether or not he should continue to call her sis after they're married is perhaps a slightly.
That is my only issue. After they are married, like I get its habit. It's weird. Like it's just weird.
Yeah.
But I like Yotaro. He's so he's just so guileless.
He is. I love very slowly watching their relationship actually develop into something. You know, his doting love that he just is happy to give and not receive anything back. And then very slowly she starts to say.
She's still suspicious of it.
Yeah.
I love how she glares at him all the time.
Yes. But that scene where they're sitting on the bench and then she just leans over on his back and asks him to perform for her. That was so tender.
So sweet. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, how did you guys feel when Bone, when he has his heart attack and they start to take him away and then Yotaro stays behind to finish it? How did y'all feel about that scene? Because I thought that scene was I thought it was really powerful.
Yeah. Where he's like, I have to do this. Like, this is something I have to do. And he's like, and they're like, this is stuff we both have to do. She has to go, and he has to stay here. And I thought for a second she was going to be mad at him because that is her mom would have been mad at Roku, like for staying.
Because she didn't value Rokugo,
right.
but she does, and it was about the master too, Yakumo the Ninth, because he would not have wanted that performance to be left. He wouldn't have wanted that audience to not have received the full show. And so you could see that it was like killing Yotaro, thanks. You could see that it was killing Yotaro. Like he was in his head. He was thinking about his master, but he had to deliver this performance and he had to deliver it well for the audience. So it was kind of like a group thing. Like they all understood the gravity of delivering this performance. And then he needed to get to his master.
Well, not only that, if they had stopped, people would have known something was wrong. And what he did not do was for people to know that something had happened to him. So by keeping it going, people are just like, well, that's odd. They closed the curtain between shows. They don't normally do that. And then
the show must go on. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you have this wonderful scene when they're driving afterwards and he's crying and the little boy is asking, Daddy, why are you crying? You know? And he says, because I finally did Inokori, which was that's a very significant Rakugo that has come up several times in the course of this. It's the one that, of course, that Sukaroku did. It's also the one that Yakumo himself did at that one point earlier in the series. But he says, I finally did
who you are. Yeah, it's the one that helps you find your voice.
It's one he assigned him and said, you can find yourself in this one.
Yeah,
because I finally did it, but the old man wasn't there to hear it. You know.
Yeah. It's also significant that Rakugo is a dying art, and if they had not finished that performance, if they had delivered a dud in that way, then that wouldn't have helped this art that they were all, it's their life. It's a piece of who they are and what they live for. And that would have only harmed this dying art even more if they hadn't actually delivered the performance.
Yeah, there's some nice tender moments in this series. You know, the little boy holding their hands and at the hospital. What do you make of this guy who's like the dude who he became? He's the son of a Rakugo artist who, not quite a doctor. He went to medical school but left it. And then he made a ton of money in, what was it? Television, I think. But yeah, do you think he's
different? I thought the television guy and the medical school guy were separate.
No, same dude. But there's the other guy who became the writer. He's got the lighter hair. Glasses.
He's got the sharp teeth.
He's the one who's after the story. That's him on the next page, actually, here. Yeah. Like he's after the story, and Yotaro the Eighth is like constantly annoyed at this guy. You're like the most annoying person I've ever met, or something like that, he tells him, right? Yeah. They're both kind of like interesting elements in this, because I feel like without being like, they're not evil or anything like that, but they seem to have their own agenda that could be that can interfere with the little family dynamic that we have going on with Yotaro and everybody.
You saw the part where Hiruga, I don't know his name, it starts with an H, the blonde guy, makes the album of the old clippings of and Yakumo's just like, I you are the most annoying person ever. Like, why are you always bothering me with this? It's like, I wanted people to see, kind of.
He's like, rip it all up, destroy it. I just wanted to give this to you. And he's like, you've been documenting me without my permission. That's a weird thing, man.
He does not. Yakumo does not have time for these people.
I think, especially in Japan, that would be a big, they actually value each other's privacy there. So that would not be very honorable. Like, he's not doing something nice.
There's something at the end of this particular episode that Philip hasn't gotten to that I was going to talk about, the drastic difference between our culture and Japanese culture, because I'm just look at just how the Japanese are handling this particular thing. But anyway,
we'll get it next time.
Everything's
just I know what you're talking about.
It's just so different.
Yeah.
Anyway. What else?
But it leaves, so his episode, his heart attack or whatever, it does leave him unable. His voice is not the same.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. You're right.
But he does wake up at the end there, and I'm still alive. I see. Failed again.
And that's why he tries to kill himself, because he literally can't do what he used to be able to do.
And his double suicide is that he wants to die and have his Rakugo die with him.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And people won't let him. He's like, I guess fate.
I guess I don't. Yeah. But it's also, And I think it's very clear that she has developed a lot of fondness for him, and she may pretend that it's like, I got to get my revenge on you. You have to atone for your crimes. But it's also
an act.
Come on, old man. Stay alive for me.
Yep.
What kind of pasta you got?
Chicken fettuccine Alfredo.
I can't slap your chicken away from you, Alan. You're too far away.
Well, I'm going to eat it pointedly in the camera next time.
For context, apparently Philip has assaulted Alan before.
And Jimmy.
And Jimmy.
Slapped our bacon out of our hands.
On the floor.
Everybody thinks he's a nice guy.
He's not. Philip is nice. He's not nice. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. Here's another great scene between Konatsu and Yakumo the 8th. When she sees him in the park on the bench, and she's wearing the scarf, and she tucks the scarf around him. I just love that little detail there.
And he bumps a cigarette.
Yeah. And he's like, give me your cigarette. He's like, no. Come on. Finally,
he's like, I'm about to die. Like, what I'm doing doesn't matter. So,
but yeah, I think the big moment in these episodes / volumes was recontextualizing everything we thought we knew, realizing that we had an unreliable narrator, that the weird scene that was just like super abrupt and random was actually missing memories, and all this time she's been remembering wrong and he's been protecting her, just like he did that. I think in that scene when she witnessed her parents die and then he covered her eyes and she passed out, even that was him protecting her right away.
Yeah.
It's very, very tragic, but also very tender. I loved it. I thought it was an excellent twist.
Yeah. And Matsuda's been carrying it around for years too, because he's known about it, and he's
the one who tells the real story, right?
So he hasn't been able to help his master, who he has such fondness for, and all he do is watch him waste away with this guilt that he refuses to let anyone else help him bear.
Sorry.
No, that was just, you're good.
So I don't know if you guys recall it, but this scene, as Matsuda tells it, we saw this earlier
in volume 1.
And
I just thought it was a retcon.
That's what she sees, and that's what she remembers.
Exactly. I thought that was a retcon because when we actually saw the scene at the end of season 1, it was like, oh, well, that didn't happen. So I guess whatever. Mangaka changed his mind. That happens every now and then from stuff that's revealed in volume 1.
Wait, what? We saw it at the end of what?
Yeah, so it was in volume 1. I don't know if the anime showed it or not, but that scene that Philip was just showing us, that was actually shown in the very beginning of the story, is him holding him. It was more shaded though.
And then Konatsu seeing it and thinking, "Oh my God, what did you do to my father?"
Mm-hmm.
And that seems to be what she remembers. What she doesn't
and
remember.
He told her it was an accident when she brought it up, and she was like, "You did this," and he's like, "It's an accident." She's like, "No, it wasn't."
Did you kill him? Yeah. And then it's the mother, Miyokichi, who's saying, "I'm sorry, forgive me. I hurt Daddy with a knife." And then she goes, "No," and then pushes him, and that's how she falls. And then Sukeroku apparently dies after her after losing 3 quarts of blood. So, but you can have a rush of adrenaline in a situation like that where, she's falling and he just tries to save her without thinking. I've heard of stuff like that happening. So, yeah.
Wow.
Even after you're bleeding out?
Well, the bleeding out part, no, but I've heard of people trying to help save a loved one and perishing in the process because they're trying, they're not thinking. They're just pure adrenaline, But
here it is, Alan. I'm gonna send it. I'm gonna text it.
Oh, from the first volume?
From the first volume, yeah. I have it pulled up here.
Okay, cool.
Oh, the first episode.
Yeah.
The anime.
But even this dude, even the guy who's like the writer dude, they have all their names in the beginning here. I should just look.
I know. It's so hard.
Aisuke Higuchi. Aisuke Higuchi, aka Sensei. Sensei. He's a popular writer and of course a fan of Rakugo, which he tried to become Yakumo's apprentice at one point when he was young and didn't. So yeah,
he told him to go home. This is not the way.
But he's the one who's in his way as well trying to preserve Rakugo. So he's working like Yotaro in a sense. He's working against Yakumo's desire to just have it all die with him.
So I just texted to you. This is from volume 1. I just texted it to you. Well, there's no point in me holding it up, but that's the image that we got in the very first volume of her remembering that scene and blaming it on him. Which I don't remember if it was in the anime or not. But yeah, that's it from volume 1. Which I don't know. I think it was last week we talked about. Yeah, it was. We talked about how odd it was that when she was like, "You killed him," and he's like, "Yeah, I did." And we were like, that's weird that he would take responsibility for that when we watched it happen and it wasn't his fault. But now it makes so much more sense why he was taking responsibility. Was it he might be doing it because he's protecting her innocence and not allowing her to remember that she was, the thing that ended up making them fall? Or it could also be, if Alan, your theory, my theory, who said it? I don't remember. I think it was Alan's theory, that Shin might have actually protected Bon from her trying to stab Bon, then it really would feel like his fault. And it's not just him taking a cover because the knife was for him. But either way, that too also makes a lot more sense now why he was saying, yeah, it is my fault.
For sure.
He feels guilt over the whole thing regardless. And his desire to die with his Rakugo is definitely related to that incident. I think. And his whole, and yeah, I mean, he's just I really admire his character so much at this point.
I agree. It didn't just recontextualize the scene; it totally changed him.
Yeah. I mean, he's a rich character, really complex. His desire to, bring his do this double suicide with him and his Rakugo. I actually agree with this Higuchi, whatever his name is, when he says you can't do that. This art is not just you anymore. This is beyond just you. This is a legacy that doesn't just belong to you, and you're being kind of selfish by wanting to take it all with you. This is something that is much bigger than you now, because you're a great master, and that means you have a social obligation to pass this on. You know, this great art. You can't just take it with you. I agree with him. I think that's actually a pretty valid point that he's making there. Even though he seems so intrusive and invasive and getting in this guy's life, you know, which is kind of creepy, a little stalkery, I guess. But I do agree with his point that you shouldn't just want this all to go with you, you know.
Yeah, and it does. I do think that it was valuable to him, and I think it's going to be something that he accepts and is grateful for. The image that I tried to send wouldn't text, so I sent it to you on Voxer, Alan.
Oh yeah, I love this page.
Yes, that's what I was talking about. When he comes home and he's just bawling,
and he hugs her when he finds out the real story, and he says she's talking to him, you know, and she's smoking and being all crusty, and you know, and she says, "A big lunk like you crying, what a Yotaro," right? Yeah. And of course, it means like doofus, but I feel like she's also saying the word with a huge amount of affection in that moment. It's just a beautiful scene there.
Yeah, she does not sound angry in the anime at all. It's very
no, it's got that nice little smile, you know.
Yeah, it's very touching. She's like, "You cry all the time," and he's like, "I know, I'm sorry. It's nothing." But he does. I mean, he does right by Matsuda. And, you know, by not telling her like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry for what happened to you," because that is not the right tack to take with Konatsu for sure. That is not his place to tell. That's going to be Yakumo's thing if he ever wants to. But does Matsuda want Higuchi? Does he want Higuchi and Yotaro to confront Yakumo and be like, "Hey, so we know what happened now," because he says, "Please help him. Like, don't let him take Rakugo. Like, please help him deal with this." So, is he expecting them to go? And does he expect that he'll have a job afterwards? That, you know, Yakumo won't fire him for airing his business?
I think at this point he cares enough about Yakumo that he won't care about losing his job if it means keeping Yakumo's life.
Yeah.
But does he plan on them? I don't know. He might just want them to make amends.
Oh, hold on. I think we may have resolved what he wanted them to do. I think that may have been at the end of our episode. That may be the thing that he wanted to do.
You're probably right, actually.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I know. It's whatever. You need to wait as soon as you get off this, Philip. You need to go read the beginning of that next volume, so you can get to where we are. So we can be like, "Hey, Philip," you see what I'm saying?
There's this really awesome thing that happened, and then this really weird thing that happened immediately after.
I mean, there's really just people eating.
Now I'm
just people eating.
It's just a dinner party kind of thing.
What about the confrontation at the end when they see him on the bridge and they rush over because they think he's going to take his own life?
Oh, he definitely to. Like, he's like,
yeah, probably. I mean, and she's like, "Old man." You know, I love how she calls him old man. I know you were thinking about dying, right? And she's pulling his garment there, whatever that is called. Oh, I can see right through you. You can't do your own Rakugo anymore, so you just want to throw it all away and run. But you still have sins to atone for, right? Yeah. And that's her is still kind of on this track, which is, I wonder how much she really believes in this line. But anyway, if you think I'm going to let you die, think again. You know, it's just her way of covering up the fact that I love you, old man. You're like my father. You can't leave me like this, you know. And her saying, and then she's the very next page. There it is. Yeah. Don't do what mom and dad did to me. You know, and there's just another just gorgeous moment here.
Do you have in the manga? Do you have the scene where Yakumo is sitting there looking through stuff with Shin-chan, with the kid, and being like, "Hey, yeah, so this is your real grandpa."
Yes. Yeah, that's in here.
I love that scene. This is your real grandpa. He died, and he's like, "Why?" And I forget what Yakumo tells him, because the kid asks why he died.
I don't remember it either.
Philip's looking it up. Philip's going to tell me, because the kid asked
why. Did you want to know? That scene where
Yakumo tells the kid, he says, look, it points at Sukaroku and says, this is your real grandpa. But he died. And the kid asks why. And I forget what Yakumo says.
Okay, I got it. I found the page.
Yes, Philip, coming in clutch.
Okay. Okay, so he's showing him this this little like album thing, right? And on this page, he's showing him the picture. Oh, yeah, from the record, the record. As it is. This man is your real grandfather. Real? He was your mother's real father. You'll understand soon enough. It's a bit strange to think of him as a grandfather, isn't it? The years can't change him anymore. I want to meet him. You can't. He's dead. Why? That's a good question.
Yes, that's a good question. Yeah.
And the kid says he did Rakugo, and then he replies, his weathered bones. Remember that one? His weathered bones was excellent. I want to hear it. Sorry, that one was never recorded. There's no way to hear it anymore. If I learn that story, will Mom be happy? Oh, I imagine so. It's practically a family tradition. Yeah.
Which story is Weathered Bones?
It's the one where he sings.
It's the one that they performed together when she was a little girl, right?
The fisherman one, right?
Yes. At the house when he's
Gotcha.
When Yakumo is trying to remember the line and he's trying to sing it, and then Sukaroku comes in just belting it away.
Yeah. It was more somber when Bon performed it, and then Shin made it chipper.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is that what? That's not what Bon was singing to her when she was falling asleep, was it?
Mm-hmm. It was, wasn't it?
It was? Okay.
Wait, was it?
When they had like that moment where we were like, oh, look, it is a father-daughter relationship.
Like rubbing her head.
Yeah.
Doing the rock.
Yeah, he's like, you loved this when you were a little girl. This seems to put you to sleep.
Because that was her favorite when she was a girl.
Yeah.
That's the one that she always made Yotaro do.
Yeah.
When he got there and learned Sukaroku's trick. It's like, hey, you do that one.
Yeah. But this is just a beautiful way to end this volume. I just love it so much. You know, when she's hugging him and he's like complaining, crotchety old guy is like, darn it, you know, all right, fine. You know, you guys keep dragging me back. You know, you when you were little, Matsuda, so many others, and now you again. And then he looks at Yotaro with this kind of his clever smile, right? And Yotaro, like he's annoyed with him, but there's so much affection in that as well. Everyone's trying to
found family.
Yeah,
and he acknowledges it's such a beautiful found family. Yeah, but he says, "I can't die when this world is so dear to me." Right?
Yes.
And then she pushes him away after that. She pushes him. I think that's her pushing him, or is it her pushing him and pushing her? I'm not sure. I think
her him.
She pushes him.
Yeah, okay. But then how else am I going to meet the god of art? For another of those fleeting moments, I would gladly be stripped of all I have.
Yeah, it was really strong. Really, really strong section of the story.
I agree. I love all the little kids singing the name.
I know.
That's so cute. Yeah.
It's like a little song that they sing, Philip, in the anime. It's like they're all like and when Konatsu is leading it, it's so good. Like the kids don't care. Like the next generation doesn't care who does Rakugo. Like they don't care that it's a girl. They don't care if it's someone's mom. They care that they're entertained and they got to hear the story and they got to participate.
Yeah.
So
I really like that part.
Did you get the bit at the end here where after that kind of really tender moment, you have Yotaro saying, if you decide you want to start again, you can. Simple as that, right? He's just trying to encourage him. In the meantime, if you need to blow off steam, I'm at your service.
Yeah.
And then he sees this like flashback of Sukaroku.
Same thing. Yeah.
You want to blow off some steam? Go ahead. I can take it. It's like, sure, I'll be your punching bag, you know, if you need it. Yeah, he also says, you want to piggyback? and he's buried his face in his hands because of that memory, I guess.
Yeah.
Really powerful.
That was in the anime. So good.
Yeah. Yeah. The characters and the relationships built up in this are so strong.
Yeah. This section was so much better.
Yes.
The last one was like
100%. And isn't it funny?
The last section improves because of this section. I think.
I agree. Isn't it funny, Alan, that you and I were like, we would not be watching this anymore if not for the group, and we would have missed out on this.
I mean, that's true. That's true.
Do you want to show your book?
What?
You don't have to. Tiki Tiki Timbo.
Yeah. When I was watching it with the kid, the kid with the long name, I was like I swear, I have not thought about this book in 30 years. Like somewhere from the vault, the recesses of that old dusty vault of like crap that I can remember from when I was a kid. Can't remember anything now. Like they're doing that. I said, Christina, did I not turn to you and said, that reminds me of this thing when I was a kid? And then I said the name, Tiki Tiki Timbo, No Sa Rimbo, Cherry Berry Timbo. And so I went and ordered this immediately. So I'm gonna read this to my son, like it was read to me when I was little. But it reminded me of that because there's a kid with a long name, and this particular version of the story was written in the 70s, but it is adapted. Like it is just some kind of like boop, 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 like descendant of that Rakugo story of the kid with the long name, which is super cool. It's I don't know. It's just I don't know. Remind me of. I love being reminded from stuff from my childhood because those were good days.
You're gonna have so much fun reading to the little tyke.
I am. I'm going to read him whatever I am currently reading.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Don't read him the Adan trilogy.
I am. That is what I will be reading. Philip.
With all the voices.
Gonna hear it. You hear it. He's gonna do his own Bagsack impression.
Nice.
Any final thoughts on this section? I think the last one's the next one, right? 4 episodes. Thank goodness, there's 4 episodes.
Yeah,
we're about to finish.
Are we doing? So we have only 2 volumes left. Are we doing the final discussion? I feel like we should just do the final discussion on.
I agree. Right?
Oh sure. Yeah, we can do that.
That's what we're doing, right?
We do talk about the last 2, and then talk about things whole.
The whole series, yeah, all at the same time, right? Doesn't that make sense?
There is no reason to talk about the last 2 volumes and then do the whole thing.
And then do the whole series. I agree. Yeah.
We'll just be repeating what we said in the last 2 volumes one. So.
Okay. Well, as soon as we close this recording, we can talk about dates.
Yep. But look for it on Murphy's channel. The last chat.
Yeah, folks, don't spoil the ending for us, please. Like, it's fine if we're not going to like it, but don't spoil it because if you tell me and I don't like it, I just won't finish it. So yeah, it'll be cool to see how it ends. ? Maybe Bone kills everyone. He kills himself and then Goku and then Konatsu.
A true murder suicide.
And Shinchan and
double suicide.
And just takes everyone. And Matsuda.
And then the aliens arrive.
No, and then Sukuroku.
No, the knockers.
The knockers arrive.
Taking Sukuroku's form. And it turns out Sukuroku wasn't dead all along. He was just taken by the knockers.
That's it. We predicted the ending. Dude. Sorry, everyone.
No, I want a serious ending here. Shinosuke is the little boy.
Shinchan.
He is going to carry on Rakugo.
Oh, I'm certain. Gotta be. That's
a safe prediction, right?
It'll either be him or Fushi, one or the other. We'll have to see.
It's true. That's true.
The little boy was Fushi all along.
Yes, the little boy is Fushi. Crossover. We tied it together. That's probably still better than that high school arc that y'all watched or that y'all read or whatever.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Anyway,
that's a low bar.
On that note, peace out, y'all. Sayonara.
Oh, that's how I make that happen.
What did you just do? Why does this do that?
I don't know.
You're on a Mac. You're on a Mac.
Fancy Mac. I wonder if 2 does something.
2? Ooh. You mean peace? Oh, 2 peace signs. I get it now. Do more things. What's the middle finger do?
Do you really want me to show you?
No. Let me end the camera.